Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bring It On. Let's head to Footfall. The Eminent Lord Captain awaits you in the square, your lordship.
Always keep your eye on the price.
We've got new stuff. Zeta 4233 Mu. Unwilling to die, the bar patrons made their last stand right there. We've seen the fireproof cape before. So Chorda got rid of the bar. These guys are patrolling confessors. The Tech Priest, who sports an explorator emblem on his scarlet robe, directs the unblinking gaze of his augmented ocular lenses at you and says, in a hissing voice, "Salutatory functionality initiated. Glory to House Von Valancius. Trade Terminal," I'm just going to call him Zeta 42. Trade Terminal Zeta 42, property of the Adeptus Mechanicus Explorator Cognizance Fleet, ready to process incoming requests. State your request, forward to the Omnissiah. I'd like to make a deal. Failed to parse request. Are you seeking to access the trading interface? Glory to the Omnissiah. Requesting access to the trading interface. Oh, that's right, we have stuff to grab from the Mechanicus. A portable deflector. The wearer always auto-dodges the first hit from each attacker on the battlefield. Warworld Origin Tempestus Elite Carapace. Base armor property, Corral divided by 10 deflection. That's the cousin to my current armor on my main character, and should be an upgrade for Abelard. And world property plus 30% dodge. Hollow Field Emitter. The wielder gains 3 charges. Why is it all the way in the bottom corner? The wielder gains 3 charges of a hollow field at the start of combat. Whenever the wielder suffers damage, 1 charge of the hollow field is removed to prevent this damage. If there are no charges left, damage is not prevented, and the wielder becomes staggered until the end of combat. Does that proc if you take 0 damage? I'm not going to use it, but there's a lot of instances of us taking 0 damage from an attack. But does that still count as a instance of damage? Annihilating Astartes Bolter. Each critical hit with this bolter increases critical damage by 10% until the end of combat. That seems a little silly. And Ghost Helm. The wearer uses willpower for dodge tests instead of agility. Whenever the wearer dodges an attack, they gain +1 psi rating until the end of their next turn, and it stacks. He has the same willpower and agility, so that first effect doesn't matter. So his current helmet only works against demons. The Ghost Helm is more universally useful, but he doesn't get attacked that often. And last time he got attacked, he didn't dodge. So I don't think that'd be very useful. At least the Eyes of Joyeuse are... It's a guaranteed effect when fighting a certain type of enemy, where this is much more circumstantial, I think. so we'll get rid of this. Then a new bolter. $25 to $35. Yeah, this is a straight upgrade. Yeah, 15% more armor. Less armor deflection by default, but he currently has 5. Yeah, up to 19. Almost quadrupled it. I do like the effect of this helmet. I might change this. And same with his, honestly. I think the helmet looks fine, but not with his current outfit, so we'll swap that out for right now. Request processing channel opened. Trade terminal Zeta 42 hears and heeds. State your request. Forward to the Omnissiah. Yeah, I skipped the 33 dash, but not the mu. Who are you? Identification request accepted. Acceptable response found. Hear and heed. This unit's identifier is trade terminal Zeta 42 33 mu. I'll say the whole thing because he is introducing himself. Designated purpose. A procession, trading, and information requests, and offers made to the Adeptus Mechanicus Explorer Cognizance Fleet. State your request. Glory to the Omnissiah. Where's Opticon 22? Information request accepted. Acceptable response found. Hear and heed. The unit Logis or Logis, Opticon 22 was instructed to leave the location Footfall and head to the strategic location Euphrates 2 in order to provide support to the Explorer Cognizance Fleet. After standard rites were performed on Trade Terminal Zeta 42, it was deemed an adequate functional replacement, received the blessing to process requests at the location Footfall. State your request. Glory to the Omnissiah. Can't turn in any more planets. But why do you keep saying glory to the Omnissiah? Information request declined. Acceptable response not found for the following reason. Hear and heed. Request falls outside processing trade and information request and offers functionality. Try restating your request. Not missing a beat, the Tech Priest adds confidently. Glory to the Omnissiah. How are you doing working under Incendia Chorda's rule? Information request accepted. Acceptable response found. Hear and heed. The unit Rogue Trader Incendia Chorda, and the said unit's actions have no significant effect on the operation of this Explorer Cognizant Fleet mission, since the said unit has no jurisdiction over the Adeptus Mechanicus or any assets thereof. Glory to the Omnissiah. I must take my leave. Request processing functionality suspended. Glory to the Omnissiah. Alright, buddy. Well, Shireen, what do we have here? A cowardly ashmag who wants to get his paws on my certificate, without even working up a sweat. Considering the circumstances currently affecting Footfall, the only fitting place this filth could be is in the sewers. Jai's nose wrinkles at the very thought. At an very. A nasty spot, with a powerful whiff about it, that is true. But I swear to you, Shireen, you won't come up with a better trap for Falco. I know these tunnels like the back of my hand. And the most delicious part of all is that ashmag chose to go in there, but wish he hadn't. Of course, it's only if the Aji don't mess things up for us and everything goes to plan. And if it doesn't... Jai breaks off, her shoulders sagging under the weight of her doubts. If it doesn't, my gang are dead, Shireen. One wrong move, one wrong word. Gah, learn darn that ashmag. Why is everything so difficult? Perhaps I should just give him the Mercatum Tabula Officiale. Falco's not a complete idiot. He won't risk such a valuable payoff. He'll hold up his end of the deal and give me Tora and the others. I hope we can come back to this option. Explain your plan in more detail. The gist is that we need to go down into the sewer tunnels of Footfall, connect a tank of sleeping gas to the old ventilation system, and direct the airflow to Falco's hideout. And of course, Pray to the Exalted One that the Ashmeg's jackals don't spot us. It's true, Shireen. It's going to be a little trickier than it seems. Falco is desperate, so he's bound to have his thugs patrolling the tunnels. If we go crashing around down there, he'll know something is afoot. When Falco's feeling jumpy, Jai's nostrils flare with impotent rage. Heads roll. Where are we going to get a tank of sleeping gas? Jai stares at you, trying to decide if you're joking or being completely serious. What do you take me for? I've acquired it already. Don't worry. I have everything covered. How do we get into the tunnels? Most of the passages have been sealed off by Chorda's hounds, but there's one they definitely haven't got to. Jai visibly perks up and winks at you. Time to pay a visit to Octi and the Adeptus Amysakis, Shireen. Jai Haidari, the certificate did not only grant you limitless opportunities, it also imposed upon you responsibilities to the Imperium. The certificate cannot be allowed to fall into Falco's hands. You know this. I do. Something breaks in Jai's voice. It even sounds to you as if you hear a grinding noise. As if an old screw has come loose, and the rusty mechanism is screeching in protest at the assault. But Tora and the rest, they're waiting for me, Shireen. They're waiting. Yeah, Commissar should understand the importance of your people, of your men, under your command. I'm not telling you to abandon your gang. I'm merely reminding you that the certificate is more important than the lives of common smugglers. I too was a common smuggler once, Shireen, retorts Jai in an even tone. Don't worry. Things go awry down there. Keeping the Mercatum Tabula Officiale is my top priority. Well, come. It is time to enter the sewers. The Amysakis we go, Shireen. Or do you have other pressing business to handle on the way there? Well, we should probably meet with Chorda. The sweet rotten odor and the scent of incense mix into a thick, nauseating stench. Chorda might take
has
offense.
managed to find himself a henchwoman in the heart of Dargonus? Regina? Who would have thought it?
Voidfear will not leave the Versarian family or the von Valancius dynasty in peace until he is dead. Focus on finding and destroying him. That is the best thing to do now.
As I was saying, Incendia might take offense if we don't go meet her rogue trader to rogue trader before handling other business. The handiwork of zealots. You survived the trial. How did you manage that? When they grabbed you on the street, I thought, I used to burn rats in the docks back on the station. Same thing. Rats don't beg for mercy. I was a hair's breadth away from servitorization, yes. One of the patrols confirmed that I wasn't at the scene. You'd think I wouldn't if they begged me. They're vermin. Shut up and burn them. What about that girl who implicated you? She testified against... Charged with conspiracy against a servant of the Imperium and sentenced to burn. No less than she deserves. Anver? Anver. Did I click on this one back here? Anver. Heresy. Piracy. Anver. The sticking mass of charred, partially incinerated corpses smolders under the weight of fresh bodies. Piracy. Heresy. Blasphemy. Dissent.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Hieronymus Delaroso. Hieronymus's gaze is alight with awe. He breathes in the smell of burnt flesh and promethium and says to you, "Behold, noble Donald, as Footfall transforms before your very eyes. In the wake of your toils, this den of depravity will once again become a testament to the Emperor's greatness, as was its original design. Does it bring you delight?" So I did grab all of their stuff. The Emperor protects. I found cryovaults with people inside, who were murdered by your comrades. Hieronymus sighs heavily, and is silent for a while. Then he replies in a hollow voice, "It was done on my orders. All my life, I've been a confessor to lost souls. Now let me make my own confession to you. I seek no forgiveness or understanding. I only want to tell the truth. Incendia Chorda had imprisoned her heirs in those cryovaults, to stop them from challenging her authority. Incendia was among them. My comrades chanced upon those ice crypts. Aspas's wicked design horrified them, and I thought, if St. Drusus had died a martyr's death to be resurrected in faith, perhaps another could follow in his footsteps. I chose Incendia. As full of worms as her innermost soul was, it had not rotten completely. As for the others, I put them to death, for thousands of years of suffering would not have been enough to cleanse the stench and rot from their cursed souls. I sabotaged Incendia's cryovault. She spent 3 years conscious, blind, and helpless. My brothers and sisters recited prayers over her prison, plant the seed of faith in the soil I had weeded. I hid the truth from Incendia and became her mentor, setting her on a path of service to his will. And that was how Incendia, the offspring of a felonious heretic, became his vengeful hand striking down enemies of the Imperium, at the cost of the evil I had done. Even a dogmatic character would probably consider that too fanatical. You're a fanatic who tortured and manipulated her for years, as well as a liar and a murderer. If you're accusing me, do not omit any of my crimes, for I will not deny them. My confession is over. I buried my innermost soul, before you, and the truth concealed therein. You're free to do with it as you please. I suppose we could tell Chorda about it. Also, these guys calling people they're burning rats, that's a very common fascist strategy. Dehumanizing the enemy so that you don't feel bad about killing them. Nothing unifies quite like hate does.
I always keep my options open.
Someone shoved a flamer down the throat of this soldier of Incendia and burned his entrails. That's a terrible way to go.
Let us not dawdle.
The commoner is standing with her back pressed against the wall, muttering something.
Keep your wits about you.
Anver, blasphemy, heresy. Is there an item back here? Violating curfew gets you in front of the firing squad. Do you think no one would find you out, you nit? Sorry, the nit threw me off. How's I supposed to not violate it after slaving away for 3 watches in a row? You could use some extra hands, but you've burned them all. So now you're also questioning the fairness of the Imperium's laws. Grab him.
Is there money to be made?
Like blasphemy, heresy, piracy, Anver. Have mercy. Our families are starving. We only have taken a couple of Nutribars. Lies. I see clearly, with my naked eye, the corruption that has engulfed your nature. Only the cleansing fire can absolve you now. Guilty. From here, the design on the front of her outfit looks like a skeleton. Is this fire cleansing enough for you, you crazy hag? The Emperor protects me. Guilty. Burn him. Incendia Chorda is absorbed in reading a long strip of parchment. Her left hand is holding a silver spoon, with which she is carefully scooping up brain matter from the open skull of the man contorted next to her. What? Donald von Valancius, I've been informed of your arrival. Exhaustion has crisscrossed Incendia's features with lines. Her cheek is twisted in a continuous nervous tick, yet her eyes are ablaze with indomitable resolve. A brilliant aura of power and righteous fury surrounds her like a mantle. She gracefully brings a gold-plated inhaler to her lips, takes a deep breath, and the fire in her gaze flares like a plasma thruster. Okay, but what? Is she eating that guy's brains? But what is this Yeah, exactly, Argenta. Sorry. Still caught me off guard that... And she's doing it in front of people. But what is this abominable act his daughter is committing? The Sister of Battle whispers incredulously as she stares at Chorda's monstrous feast. Oh hey, they're talking. We'll look at that in the log after. Or maybe they'll start the conversation again. There must be a reason. Examine Incendia. One look at Incendia's full dress uniform shows that it has not been changed in many days. The collar is greasy, and the laces are stained with sweat. The air is tinged with the smell of inhaled stimulant that is used to give serfs the ability to work multiple watches without rest. Point at the man with the open skull. What is that? Incendia sinks her silver spoon into the man's brain, and slowly consumes this revolting morsel. I must know the taste of a criminal's thoughts. That's how I learned to recognize their patterns. Finish the man. This entertainment of yours reeks of corruption.
No!
Incendia does not bat an eye at the man's death. A laughable accusation. Do you think yourself capable of detecting corruption? Something wild sparks in her pale eyes. You know not the first thing about perceiving it, sensing it, peering into people's souls and seeing the heinousness therein. You do not know what it's like to look at the faces, their faces, and see the brand of their impious deeds. But I know it all too well, and none will escape my wrath. I've encountered sanctioned death cults that practiced cannibalism as part of their way of praising the Emperor. A surprisingly large number of them harbored heresy within. You think? You have suspicions about me. Well, it is your duty to suspect. But do your eyes see a trespass here? No. I've committed no malefaction against him. The law's found its way to Footfall after all, I see. Yes, it has. Albeit its journey was far too long. But it will never release its grip on the station again. I vow to see to it. The Lord Inquisitor has bestowed upon me the honor of bringing order to the cesspool of pirates and heretics. Red footfall of the corruption that has fettered its limbs and turned this imperial station into a hotbed of free thinking and inefficiency. And I will not rest until all have been judged. It pleases me that you get to share in the triumph of Footfall's culling with me. So you're in charge of Footfall now. Indeed I am. When the Lord Inquisitor enacted martial law in the Expanse, I offered him my support at once. Footfall was chosen as the Lord Inquisitor's headquarters, and the position of Footfall's liege was temporarily abolished while this war lasts, or perhaps longer than that. All authority was transferred to the station's warden, to me. While the Lord Inquisitor is preoccupied with matters of strategic planning, I am tasked with security and order. and there's much to do on that front. Pirates and smugglers, apostates and cold traders, deserters and outlaws. Every one of them warrants attention. Cracking her neck, stiff from many hours of reading documents, Incendia again scoops up the brain from the open skull of the poor fellow standing next to her with a silver spoon. I wouldn't say he's standing. Everywhere you look, servants are buckling under heavy stacks of new denunciations, warrants, and other documents. Whom do you judge? All of them. Thieves, smugglers, pirates, traders, heretics, deserters. Abettors, harborers, cowards, and perjurers. Any who has ever trespassed. Any who has ever protected a miscreant or kept quiet about a crime they knew of. They all will be condemned. With obsessive determination, Incendia starts going through her papers, seemingly no longer aware that she is doing so. More and more new convicts are being granted the great boon of undergoing servitude in perpetuis, and having rid themselves of sinful consciousness, of deserving the Imperium free from doubt and weakness. Footfall will once again become a bastion. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Footfall will once again become a bastion of law and righteousness. I will eradicate all heresy that prevents the faithless from giving themselves over to the good of toiling in his name. How long has your court been in session already? Incendia seems slightly perplexed by your question. She starts moving side sentences from one stack to another, and says uncertainly, 3 weeks. The court carries on day and night, so my sense of time eludes me. I applaud your efforts. It's hard to agree with that, but... Yeah, I applaud your efforts. This place is long overdue for some proper law and order. Let my vow be heard. I shall not leave this station. I shall not yield to sleep. I shall not let my body be washed until every last criminal who hides in this lawless den has faced his judgment. The universe is a terrifying place. We are surrounded by the archenemies, machinations, and xeno scum who deny us our right to exist. The threat is inconceivable, and human weakness will not help us avert it. If man is weak, I rid him of his spinelessness and feebleness, endowing him with the sacred narrowness of mind and eradicating all that prevents him from utilizing his whole self in the service of the Imperium. She is not lying. You can tell by her eyes and her voice, trembling with earnest faith, that Incendia genuinely believes in every word she just said. What makes you think you're entitled to govern this place as you see fit? Such is the law of Footfall. Any rogue trader who arrives here assumes the right of absolute authority. Surely it is not that cutthroat Takara who deserves to rule this station. He will soon be hanging from a noose, and so will his Casbalican henchmen, and so will those Anver firebrands whose outrageous activities brought Footfall so much grief. I promise you that I would clean up Footfall, and I've kept my promise. By virtue of your support, the station will once again be an outpost of the Imperium, a purified bastion of industriousness and righteousness. The heretics who dared defy me have nearly been eradicated to the last. Chuck one point at the hapless assassin's corpse. I can tell you are quite popular with the locals. This attempt was mediocre and far from the first, but my enforcers and my throne keep me safe. Incendia pats an armrest and smiles. Its refractor field is impervious even to tank shells. That thief Takara had this sacred Drusian relic stashed in one of his storerooms. So, we had a dogmatic option earlier. Hopefully we can go back to it. Where's the Lord Inquisitor? In the Legion's chambers, coordinating the Expanse's defense. His attention is focused on matters of vital importance. He is not seeing any supplicants. The soldier wearing an inquisitorial armor echoes Incendia's words. Your lordship cannot see the Lord Inquisitor now. However, he bade to inform your lordship that he will summon you later, when the circumstances permit him to do so. We shall see whether Footfall will thank the Emperor for your reign. In due time, I'll weed out all the taint that has bred here on Footfall for so long, and then pious fear, loyalty, and devotion will once again become the pillars of this station under his watchful eye. What happened between you and Winterscale? Winterscale is a traitor. While the Expanse burns, ravaged by heretics and unhallowed Xenos, he abandoned his duty completely and had the nerve to ignore the Lord Inquisitor's call to battle. My servants are taking over his worlds and ships, while he's hiding from reckoning and indulging his base urges. Soon enough, he too will stand before judgment. Since you, Donald, have once helped me curb Caligos' appetites, what do we do? Refused to help Footfall with shipments of grain and allowed the Chorda dynasty to take control of the station. There wasn't an option to side with Winterscale in that, if I recall. It's either me or her. I'll invite you to divide his territories with me. Once we have extinguished these roaring flames of wickedness, House Von Valancius will be welcome to partake in the conquest of that profaner's worlds. Well, it's pretty obvious that Winterscale was corrupted, or on the path to corruption. I wholeheartedly share your indignation. Caligos is a reprobate. Astrocartographers will soon have their hands full erasing the name Winterscale's realm from star maps. The castigating disgrace of that will fall upon the dynasty. Will be a fitting punishment for Caligos' crimes. You said you'd not rest until you've judged every soul in the station. I too wish to stand before your court. Incendia stares at you in amazement. You truly wish to stand trial. Very well. May your zeal serve as an example to the rest. Incendia leans forward and peers into your eyes. Her gaze, like a monk carrying a rushlight, wanders down the corridors of your soul's fortress, checking every corner in search for the slightest faults or traces of corruption. Moments pass as Incendia conducts her thorough investigation, until at last, she reclines back on her throne. The wary smile touches her lips. I see no sign of taint in your soul, Donald. You are pure before the Emperor, and thus I acquit you and grant you his blessing and pardon. Go forth and bring his punishment to those who have turned their back on his word. Enough words. You accused await, and so do my duties. Wait. You have a duty to the Emperor that you must see to. Dame Takara, the deplorable rebel who once ruled this station, has slipped away from me. He is instigating the people to revolt, killing my servants, and hiding from my wrath with the dexterity of a void rat. My informers claim he often appears in the den of unrest that bears the irreverent name of the Adeptus Amicekis. We have made several attempts to arrest him, yet he evaded capture each time. Reverend Hieronymus has gone there to convince him to surrender quietly, but his efforts have likewise been unsuccessful. In the interest of Footfall's integrity, Takara must be apprehended. Together, we will make that scoundrel pay for his crimes. Let him drink the cup of his wrath to full, a cup that our hands will deliver. The asteroid where the Adeptus Amicekis is located has been cordoned off, but my enforcer will take you there. I want you to lure Takara out of his hole and seize him so that he may stand trial. Do this for the sake of Footfall's liberation and pave the road that my justice will tread. You pronounce Vladame a criminal. Why wouldn't I? The vile rogue's infamy is known to all. He patronized thieves, smugglers, and pirates. By his allowance, heresies and unholy cults flourished. That he has evaded punishment this long can only be described as gross negligence, which I intend to rectify before long. Why did Hieronymus go to the Adeptus Amicekis? Reverend Hieronymus headed where the rebels are seen the most often, so he could preach to them and sway them to repent. Alas, he still cannot see the difference between those who have erred and those who are beyond any hope of redemption. Some of the people you wish to execute are useful to me. I purchased valuable equipment from them. Scoundrels and thieves will be replaced by honest suppliers. Even degenerates such as the Caspalica can be of some use in the coming crisis. But their willful leaders need to be replaced with more pliable and trepidatious successors. It is the only way for us to protect ourselves from being stabbed in the back. And what do I stand to gain? I thought I was speaking to you, and yet I hear Theodore's words, greedy and full of hubris. Your gain is the order that will come to this station and his obedience to the Emperor, his law, and his stewards. I'll help you deal with Vladame. I never doubted you, Donald. The Emperor protects. But remember, Incendia's eyes flash maniacally. None of the rebel leaders are allowed to die before their trial. I forbid you to execute them without my leave. Alright, what do these guys say? We'll read that, and then we'll wrap it up. What are you in for? Falling asleep during my watch. I hadn't slept in a week. Even the stimulant stopped doing any stimming anymore. You? Not to patrol on the docks. Who could have known he brought friends along? Same trial for a slacker as for a killer. What times are we living in? Cheer up. Maybe we'll get servitored instead of burned. Although who knows which is worse. Let's loot these guys real quick. I can't loot that guy. Alright, I'm gonna call it here, and next time we will continue exploring the atrium and I guess go deal with Vladame. And also Giant's
Rise
Quest.
to the top, or get left in the dust.
But either way, for now, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.